what's happening, everybody? It's me, Crazyfrankie, and I'd like to welcome you to my Week 1 4 key game picks. Now, in the last video I did, which was me talking about all of my picks for division winners in each of the conference, in both the AFC and NFC conferences. Forgive my stuttering for a little bit. If you haven't checked out that video, I'll put that link in the description below. Well, people, it's finally here. The 100th NFL season. If you look out through history, yep, this year marks the 100th anniversary of the National Football League. And obviously the first game that's going to be played is going to be on Thursday, which is the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears to open up the 100th anniversary of the National Football League. And speaking of that game, that is going to be one of my key game picks that I will talk about. Now, before I make my picks, now the first week, every time I do these videos, the first week really is the toughest week to pick because we don't know what key games they might be in relates to possibly, division on the line or playoff picture or anything for that matter. So basically, the beginning first week for me when I do these videos, I really think this through, and these are just my opinions. The first few weeks of my picks are just mostly opinions because I don't know how each team's going to play out. So put me with a grain of salt and with some citation and caution here. This is just, for the first few weeks, this will be just my opinions of what I believe this might be the best games of that particular week. So now, and another thing before I make my videos. It's going to be the same just like last year. I picked 4 key games, and in the description below will be all of my week 1 picks, including the point spreads. And I know a lot of you questioned me about that last year, which really was, look, I mean, I always say this before the start. If you use my picks for gambling purposes, you do so at your own risk, okay? I am not responsible for your gambling losses. That is on you, okay? So don't at me or anything else for that matter that relates because, oh, for sure thing, I thought you was a sure pick, and how come I lost that game? I don't want to hear it, okay? Please. If you use my pick or anybody's NFL picks for that matter, you do so at your own risk. All right. We're finally here. The 100th NFL season is upon us. Let's begin with now my 4 key game picks now. Finally up in this, I'll be making my picks all the way up to the Super Bowl. But right now, let's begin with week number 1. And here are my 4 key game picks for week number 1. And of course, let's begin with the opener. The Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. The Bears are a slight favorite in this game at 3 points, which I probably think it'll be much lower before kickoff. I strongly believe now for Aaron Rodgers, this is where he needs to make a statement here. But with the new coach here, it's going to be tough. With the new coach at the helms for that Packers team. Not only that, you're playing the Bears. This Bear defense that they have now is no joke. And you saw what Rodgers struggled a lot in the first 2 games. Even though in that first game last year they beat the Bears after coming back from a deficit, but from this point on here, look, Aaron Rodgers lost some key players, and they really have to really gather their team together to even have a chance in this division. Now, for the Bears right now, obviously their defense is going to be key, but their offense really needs to get it intact here. Let's see how well Trubisky does against the Packers. Now, he beat them last year in the second game to win the division, but this is totally different now. With a whole new season upon us, can Trubisky make that next step? What do I see coming out of this game? I expect a low-scoring game here because of the defense of the Chicago Bears and possibly not much offense coming out of the Bears. I don't see this game being a shootout at all. I think both teams will probably be held to probably maybe like 17 points. I think it's a low-scoring game here. But who do I have winning this game? I'm going to actually pick the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears will beat the Packers here. Last year, it was all home field, and I think it's going to be the same thing just like last year. I think that the Bears win this game at home, and then later on in the season, when they go to Green Bay, I see Green Bay winning that one. But for this game here, because the game is in Soldier Field, I like the Bears in this game, but in a very, very close game here. Bears over the Packers. All right, key game number 2. It is the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns. Yes, I'm actually going to talk about the Cleveland Browns here. Now, a lot of things have to be in the helms for the Tennessee Titans now that their own division now is up for grabs with no Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts to do anything in that division now that Indianapolis has a quarterback problem. For the Browns, this game here, let's see if all the hype during the offseason and the acquisitions of OBJ and later on in the season, Kareem Hunt after suspension, can this team make that next step? Too early to tell, but it's tough to say how I see this play out. Now, key for this game for the Browns is stick to their game plan, what they've been doing all season long. Freddie Kitchens and that offense really needs Freddie Kitchens at the helms now for the Cleveland Browns as coach, getting Baker Mayfield to get that offense going right now to see how well they will do the whole season. Now for the Titans and Mariota, this is probably going to be Mariota's last chance to prove himself because he's been injury prone the last few seasons, and it's going to be tough to say how this Titans offense is going to be. Now the Browns are a 5.5 point favorite in this one. That probably will be a little bit lower, but I'm actually going to pick the Cleveland Browns here. I think the Browns will win this game, but I think this game too will be a close game. Close game, but I think the Browns pull it off here. I think probably the Browns, I see them probably winning by a field goal. Browns over the Titans. Key game number 3, the New York Giants against the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, all the talk in the offseason about Zeke Elliott's contract and then Dak Prescott's ending rookie contract. And of course for the Giants, will Daniel Jones play in this game in the first game, even though Eli Manning is still the quarterback? Let's assume that Zeke Elliott does not play in this game because he's still holding out because of contract negotiations, which I see it's more than likely. I don't see him playing in this game if this continues. Will they get a deal done before week 1? I don't know. And if I had to take an honest guess here, I don't think it happens. I think with no Ezekiel Elliott, I think it just puts a ton of pressure now on Dak Prescott and that offense to really get it going. Luckily, their first few games should be easy for them. But it's hard to count out the New York Giants because the Giants really have given the Cowboys problems over the years. And knowing everyone's had Quan Barkley in that running game and all, who's to say that the Giants might pull an upset in this game? So who do I have winning this game here? I'm going to pick the Dallas Cowboys, but I'd see also this game being a very close game here. Should be a good one. I expect this game to be very close here between these two teams. Regardless of if they're mediocre or they're very good, these two teams play very hard against each other. But I think the Cowboys pull it off here. I think they'll win probably by a touchdown here. The Cowboys are a 7-point favorite in this one. They are a touchdown favorite, so I think that's pretty much the odds makers put it right on that one. I like the Cowboys over the Giants. And finally, key game number 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers against the New England Patriots. Patriots a 6-point favorite in this one, and I say that's about right. With no Le'Veon Bell and no Antonio Brown, what does Pittsburgh have at offense? Now, obviously, they got rid of Drama, which basically was one of the main problems in the offseason, and before the offseason, during last year, I should say. Really tough to say how Ben Roethlisberger and that offense does. Now, I did pick the Steelers to win their own division. You can watch the video on that. It's in the description below. You can watch the video if you want to. Really, right now, the Steelers got their hands full against this Patriot team. The Patriots are the defending champions, but of course, their opening game, of course, they're raising their 6th banner in that championship and all. It's really tough to say now how this Patriot team is going to come out here. Got to remember, there's no Gronkowski. He's retired. How's this offense going to look without having that extra dynamics at wide receivers? Tough to say who wins this game here. Patriots are a heavy favorite in this game, and it's hard to go against very hard to go against the Patriots against the Steelers here. Patriots have had the Steelers number for a lot of years already, and I'm picking the Patriots in this game. Will this game be close? I can see this game being sort of close, but I think the Patriots pull away in the 4th quarter here. So yeah, I'm going to pick the Patriots over the Steelers. All right, everybody, that wraps up my 4 key game picks for week number 1. For all of my week 1 picks, please check the description below. And I will see you guys all next week when I talk about my picks for week number 2. And until then, take care and enjoy your football weekend.